Hey guys, so this over the past few days, no, I got so many messages about the MaryMart IPO. Although you can do a quick search, I made a video of this a few months ago, and it wasn't even factoring in what's happening right now for the coronavirus now. So this is just me giving you bits and pieces of information about the MaryMart IPO. But I'm gonna make another deep dive on this where we're gonna look more about the expansion plans. We're going to look at valuations. We're going to look at the EPS. We're going to look at possible ROEs for this particular IPO. But I want to already touch the surface on all of this. Now, I want to go and at least share some of my thoughts and my ideas, and also tell you, for those who have not really seen the disclosure on Mary Mart yet, so that at least you have a more holistic view on the company. And that being said, I just want to say this also. We are in different times. The reason why I'm saying that we are in different times is basically uh, no one at the start of, or at least the end of 2019, ever predicted, ever projected that we would be in this pandemic. As you all know, I'm a big fan of the Philippines consumption driven economy. But the reason why I'm saying that, Mary Mart is a grocery. Mary Mart is right smack in the middle of the Philippines consumption driven economy. And that being said, because of what's happening, no, you have to understand that there will be some OFWs that um, people are projecting that 20% of the remittances will fall for 2020, and that will also have a direct impact on consumption. Please also remember that, because there will be some people that may not have jobs after this, or they may try to at least save money because of what this brings. No, is what this pandemic has done is we all got used to be living a certain life. This is our norm, and then it has brought anxiety. It has brought uncertainty. And that being said, that uncertainty, that anxiety will cause people that instead na gumagastos sila on this much on a regular basis buying this item, because of what's happening, some might revert and just want to be defensive and be in cash. But I want to tell this to you before I continue to talk about Mary Mart. No? One of the best things that you could ever do also to help this economy out, if you have extra, you have savings, your cash flow is not really hit, you are not in debt, just continue to spend. Because as you continue to spend, it helps revitalize the economy. Please do note that the economy is made up of transactions. When you spend, another person will earn. And as you start to earn more, that company that earned more will have sales, and either it helps their employees or helps their company in the long run. So again, Mary Mart is a grocery slash supermarket, which is right smack in the middle of our consumption-driven economy. Now, a couple of things that you need to know. By the way, we are at the 3 minute mark. Please comment if you're learning, and if this is the first 3 minutes of this video is something that's helping you. And for those who don't know me, by the way, my name's Marvin Germo. If you are so interested about IPOs, about the stock market, about investing, I make daily videos about investing, about the stock market, and all of this, me making this, I just have one goal, just to give you the right information at the right time so you can make the right decisions. And that being said, also, whatever I say here, guys, please study it. At the end of the day, it's your money, it's your responsibility. You have to do your own due diligence, you have to research, and you have to come in investing knowing what you're getting into. You have to know ano yung binibili nyo. Not just because people are talking about it, not just people are saying it's first IPO of the year. And I've been hearing a lot of people, oh, look at KPPI last year, it moved up, first IPO. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that the first IPO will always do well. You have to study. You have to know where you're gonna put your money. At the end of the day, it's your money, it's your responsibility. It must be you who should do the research on top of that. Anyways, Mary Mart, the offer period is from May 27 to June 5. So I'm taping this video May 21. So you have at least 6 days before they start offering it. And I hope that's enough time for you to be able to study it. Main IPO date, listing date, June 15. So again, if you're new, please remember, when it IPOs June 15, it will be available to everyone. So everyone who wants to buy the stock, you can buy it already like any normal stock from the open market June 15. But if you want to buy it before it goes into the market, before it gets listed, that's where the May 27 to June 5 offer period is, and you can get that. The PSE, they have. I'll try to go into the deep dive on this on the next MaryMart video, and comment below if you want more MaryMart related videos. But they have a program for small investors, so they have a certain allotment there, but there's a maximum cap for you to be able to enter, and then there's another tranche that you can get from the normal brokers that you would normally have. So next thing I'd like to tell you is how big is this IPO? This IPO is around 1.59 billion pesos, but as of this date, I think tomorrow they'll disclose the final price, which will highly affect the total amount that they will actually raise also. So targeted is 1.59, and the target price for it to be sold is at 1 peso. So 1 peso, 1.59 billion pesos in terms of what they want to raise. So if you try to remember, last year Frutas was also around close to that particular mark. No, I think it was 1.75. I think if I remember it properly. The public float after everything gets sold, assuming that everything gets sold, will be at 21%. So the market would the shares that they have in the market would be around 21% after all of this is said and done, and the total value will be there. Next, that I always tell people is aside from looking at and studying the IPO, you must also study where's the money going, because that's very, very important. Similar to the previous videos that I said, I'm not a big fan of secondary. That there's a big chunk of secondary shares. I want, if there's an IPO, that there will be a big chunk of the money that will go to the company itself that they could actually use. So I want that, and that's what you need to look for. You want the money to go to the company. That's one. And you also want, if you have a choice between debt repayment and expansion, you want a company that will put a big chunk of the money towards expansion than debt repayment. If you remember it, a couple of years back, you had Cemex, debt payment after a couple of days, weeks after the IPO, boom, it started to drop as well. As compared to the ones that's why I'm a big fan of. Here's what's interesting. I'm a big fan of Pure Gold, and Pure Gold is also connected to this. Now they're also pure grocery stores. They're grocery slash supermarket, so they're almost in the same space. Again, Pure Gold is Shuko. I think it was around 11, 12 pesos. It was almost a decade na rin before when it went into an IPO. Then boom, suddenly went to 20, all the way we saw it as high as around 56, 57. Anyways, so the proceeds of this MaryMart IPO, around 1 billion pesos, will go to expansion. That's so interesting. And out of that billion, no, that's enough for them to create 25 new stores. So based on the disclosure, their goal is to make 25 new stores that will come from the IPO proceeds. Again, they're gonna make more than 25, but directly from the IPO, they will use the money to create 25 stores. Next, so 1 billion. I mentioned that there's around 1.59 billion, but please remember the 1.59 billion, hindi yun yung buong amount na makukuha nila, because there's taxes and fees they also have to pay for. So there will be, I think, assuming it's 1.59, they'll most likely get around 1.4 billion, which in terms of IPO size, no, it's not really something that's super big. It's not something that people would consider that's a very, very big amount compared to the other IPOs that have been somehow released in the past. So hope you guys are learning. Comment if you're learning. If you're new, by the way, appreciate it if you could press the like and the thumbs up, because it helps the YouTube algorithm show this to more and more people. And I really believe that it's time that we see more Filipinos get in tuned and learn more about personal finance and investing. That's why this is the third video for the day. No, that's why I'll never stop making videos like this, because I really believe it's making a difference, and I just wanna help you guys out. If you haven't seen the two videos before this, I posted a video on Jollibee talking about its current direction, and the video before that, we have the CEO of Tea Farms sharing his insights on business. Anyways, 1 billion will go to expansion, then 200 million pesos out of the IPO proceeds also is going to go to investments on its distribution centers, which is most likely needed given the space that they're in. The business segment that they're in, then remaining 220 million pesos will be used for general corporate purposes. So basically, the large chunk that you need to focus on is the 1 billion that's going to go for them to be able to create those 25 stores. So, and then just to break down the 25 stores that they plan to make, on the IPO, around 10 of those stores will be large stores, because I haven't mentioned this yet, but they segmented their groceries slash supermarkets into three. One very, very large one, large supermarkets. Then they have a mid-size, and they have a very, very small personal. Uh, I haven't really seen it yet. The only one that I've seen is the one that you see here also in the picture. It's the one in the Double Dragon Plaza in the MOA area. That's what I've seen. And that's, I don't know if that you consider that one of their bigger ones, but I think it's relatively bigger than, say, the 7-Elevens or the smaller Robinson supermarkets that we would normally see. So it's divided: one large one mid one, and then they have a smaller segment also. So I guess if you'll try to uh, segment it, Pure Gold also has that. Now they have their supermarkets, then they have their Bulilid also. So I don't know if that's a direct comparison, but I'll try to put that in the next video. And if you want me to drill into more of that in the next video, just put it in the comment section. So yun, 25 stores from the IPO. 10 of those 25 stores will be large, full-size stores. One will be mid, and then the remaining 14 will be their smaller stores. So there. Currently, as of the time that I'm making this video, they have 7 stores existing. So if you try to, they're trying to impute, if it's a 21, I'll try to make, I don't have my calculator with me, no, but if it's 21% public float, that means the remaining, that's worth 1.59 billion pesos. The remaining 79% uh, gives them this type of valuation. So I'll make my computations for that in the next video so that you see it. But essentially, this total amount that you're paying for is worth 7 stores. So that's the full price, full valuation of it, given that if it will be priced at 1 peso. So one thing that you also must consider, and I've been saying this in a lot of the videos, it's not a question of, I'll try to get the Excel so that I can complete it for you. Pero when it comes to the stock market kasi, it's never a question of it's not just a question of mura ba siya or maganda ba siyang company. It's also a question of mura ba siya, because you have to figure out that, hey, kung uh mura siya, is it giving me the price? Is it me putting it at the price that I want? Is it a good company that I get to buy it at the price that I want? Because there are some companies that are very, very good but are relatively expensive. So I repeat, when you're valuing companies also, it's one thing to look at the growth, but it's also one thing to look at, is it at the price that I want? Do you want it relatively cheap? Or if it's expensive, will its growth later on commensurate to the price that you're buying it now? Because I said this already in a previous video that not all IPOs are cheap, because if you're the founder of the company, you won't really sell your your stock of your company at the break-even price. If you're paying it, if you're selling it, people most likely will have to pay at a premium, because at the end of the day, wala naman, kunyari tayo, investors, wala naman tayo kinontribute at the start. We didn't really do anything to add value to it. So why will we get it at the same price as the ones who started the company? So that's the whole context of that. And even anyone naman, something that you've worked your blood, sweat, and tears, most likely you won't sell it at its fair value or its break-even price. You will always sell it at the premium. Now, it's our responsibility as investors to analyze and check, is this price acceptable to me? Is this price, given its trajectory, its growth, its possibility of moving up, is this something that I think is relatively suited? So that's how you can tweak it. But then again, I'm gonna make another video talking about its EPS growth and talking about also other. We're gonna make a deep dive on its valuations and more ratios as well. So there, 7 stores. You're paying 1.59 billion for 21% of it. So the remaining 79. Then their goal is at the end of the second quarter 2020. I don't know when this projection was this projection made in light of the coronavirus, or was this projection made at the start? No, but they plan to have 12 more stores at the end of Q2 2020. So if it's May right now, I think everything will also hinge, no, on the lockdown. So I don't know if they're constructing right now, if it's feasible, but let's see. No, so that's one of the things also that you have to look at is, are there plans? Is it something that whatever they said will, is it something that they can actually do? Is it something that will actually happen? Because please remember, when it comes to the market, it's also based on not just the numbers, but people's perception of the numbers. So if it's a good amount but it underperformed, then investors won't like it. If it's an okay amount but it overperformed, then investors will like it, and more people who like it start to buy. More people who don't like it avoid or sell, and more buyers bring the prices up. More sellers bring the prices down. So 12 stores by Q2 2020, and here's the clincher. They plan by the end of the year 2021 to have 100 stores uh, nationwide. So I think one of the things that we have to consider also is, aside from the coronavirus, is because we are not having a lot of mobility. I don't know how offices are currently for the past 2 months functioning at 100%. So there might be a slowdown in this. So that's something that you have to consider, and that's something you have to watch out for when you are analyzing it. But if there's one thing that I'd like to mention, and I said this at the start, that I said that Filipino spending habits will somehow change. Filipino spending habits will shift. One of the things that's interesting about them is what they're selling are mostly items that are non-discretionary spending, or basically they're essentials. So I've been saying this in a lot of the videos that I have been making, that spending will shift. Filipinos will move from those that are buying the expensive ones, will just shift muna to the bare essentials. Those who are buying those expensive bags will most likely buy milk now, buy egg now. Those who are eating out will just buy mostly grocery items right now, because that's what's essential. That's part of the new normal that we are in. So, if I love pure gold, and if it this is something similar, then it taps into that non-discretionary expenses that Filipinos have right now in this new normal. That being said, also, I mentioned at the start that this is a small IPO. People always say small IPO, boom, akyat kagad. That's what happened to KPPI. Small IPO went up, smaller float, easy, syempre, smaller shares moving around. So for people to buy next, someone must sell it at a higher price, and it becomes faster. And that's what happened also to Fruit on the first few hours on the first day. Then a sell down happened. So if it goes up fast, please remember it also has the possibility to go down fast as well. It always would go both ways. And a lot of people are pegging this, that I'll show you another picture. Let me see. I'll share you one picture first before I continue, so that I normally also share the owners of the company, because I think they play an essential part on how they get at how you get to analyze it in the grand scheme of things. So this is the owner. This is Ed Garcia. You all know him from Mang Inasal, and you all know him about Double Dragon. And the reason why I'm sharing this is he's smart, no? The way he has done Mang Inasal, the way he started pushing and doing things. I really believe that's something that's very, very interesting. And the buzz around this is people are willing to pay this price because they know it's Ed Garcia. They're also thinking that, hey, Double Dragon first day went from 2 to 4 pesos. If that happened to Double Dragon, will it happen also to MaryMart this time around? So that's where we are today. We talked about the owner. I'm a big fan of El Garcia. He's one of the youngest, especially with what he did to Mang Inasal. That's something that's truly, 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 truly amazing. It's nice to see entrepreneurs that do things that are relatively different. It's nice to see entrepreneurs like him that are successful, and I like that. It's nice to see people who are successful in their field, no, and it's nice to see that's an inspiration to a lot of people that it can be done, that you can be prosperous here in the Philippines, that you can do a lot of good if you have a lot of money also. So there, comment your questions. Definitely, there will be a second video, a larger deep dive into MaryMart. We're going to talk about valuations, EPS, most likely ROE. We're going to look at their level of debt if they have any, their cash. We're also going to look at their liquidity. So expect more for those who attended our Stock Smart sessions on fundamentals. We're going to talk more about that as well. And then there, I hope that this is something that gave you value because I don't know. I just love to give as much information to people as possible. And there, if you got a lot from this, appreciate it. Like, thumbs up. If you have not subscribed yet, subscribe to this channel, smash that bell so you get updated. Books are in the description. 5 books that you can order via Shopee. 2 online courses, one with Chinkee Tan, second with Sean Si. They're in the link below. And there, I have a Patreon account, by the way. For those who want, people have been asking if I have a Patreon account and they just really wanted to openly support. I have a link in the description as well. And that's it for now. Again, that's what I've been always saying. No? Use this time for you to be able to study. Don't just jump the gun because a lot of people are talking about it or a lot of people are doing it. You have to know what you're getting into because the strength of making money is you having the conviction when everyone else is doing the opposite. So that's it for now. Marvin Germo. I hope this video helps you trade well, trade strong, trade smart. See you all again soon, guys, and God bless you all.